Hi everyone, we are here at PowerGen International 2022 on the PowerGen exhibit floor. I'm Kevin Clark, Content Director for Clarion Energy, and I'm pleased to be joined by Gary McCullough. He is the VP of Energy and Utilities at librestream. Gary, thank you for joining us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about librestream first of all?
Sure. Thanks for having me today. It's great to be here. So librestream is in the software business. We enable what's often referred to as digital worker technologies. So the ability to connect field workers with information and knowledge to be able to do their job more efficiently, more safely, and more resiliently.
Let's talk about the current state of the workforce in energy and utilities. I mean, we are really seeing a mass exodus, aren't we?
Yeah, we're in a situation where at this point, almost 50% of the utility workforce is eligible for retirement over the next decade. So we're talking about really a significant amount of our most experienced, most tenured professionals are going to be leaving the industry.
And with that, all of that knowledge that comes with it, right? Why is that such a paradigm shift for the industry?
Well, I think traditionally so much of that knowledge was kept in the heads of our most experienced workers. So they spent 20 or 30 or 40 years learning their trade, learning their job, and a lot of that knowledge just wasn't digitized. It was just in their head. So as an industry, I think we're concerned about whether that information is going to retire along with them, and I think something that we really need to address.
And a lot of this is in the subject of this new white paper, right? Can you kind of talk about that?
Sure, yeah. We've just released a white paper about this idea of workforce transformation, leveraging technologies to really capture knowledge of all workers, but really particularly those that are retiring and making sure that that information doesn't leave when they leave out the door.
How do we optimize the workforce, this new workforce, and do it in a digitized way?
Well, I think, obviously, as we're seeing in a lot of other industries, we're just not going to have enough people to do all the work that needs to be done. So a lot of efforts in how do we leverage technology to optimize things like work processes and procedures. How can we patch information to the worker at the time of service? Our industry is always focused on what I describe as kind of just-in-case training. So we learned for years, had lots of training, but the idea of actually patching in knowledge at the time of service to be able to help our workers come up to speed faster is a really critical element.
What are some of the differences between the workforce maybe that's aging out and the workforce that's coming in? A little more transient, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's a significant difference. I mean, I think if you look at the kind of the band of those workers that are on the cusp of retirement, that 10 years out, they all stayed, or generally on average stayed 10 or more years in their work. I think the generation of the, kind of call it the millennial generation, is tending to be more like 2 to 3 in a job. So you just don't have that kind of long-standing ability to learn lots of things, and so we've got to be able to, from an institutional perspective, digitize more of that capability for the worker.
What are our biggest obstacles here in the years to come in order to optimize the workforce?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot. I think one, the technology, both on the in the utility and generation side, there's a lot of, when we think about things like renewables and how a lot of new technologies are going to be incorporated into the overall market. I think it's going to be very critical to be able to train people, to be able to get them access to information, for them to have tools, things like computer vision, the ability to actually identify equipment without having to have that years of experience as part of that process.
How can digital solutions like augmented reality, for example, assist in this effort?
Yeah, a lot of what we're doing at librestream is providing that capability to assist the worker in various ways, augment what they're doing with knowledge, augment what they're doing with video, a lot of things like that to really enable more capabilities and more information.
This is fascinating. Where can people get a closer look at this white paper, Gary?
Yeah, they'll just go out to our website, librestream.com. It's on the top page. Please go see the utilities white paper, download it. We'd love to talk to you about what we're seeing in the industry, kind of how we're helping a lot of our utility partners prepare for what's happening from a retirement perspective.
All right, thank you so much, Gary. Appreciate your time here at PowerGen International 2022. Alongside Gary McCullough of librestream, I'm Kevin Clark at Clarion Energy. Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Really enjoyed it.